Hello, everybody. It's Melissa Da Silva here. And I just wanted to share with you that the number one thing that I focus on every day is always my mindset. So, apart from everything in my life, I know that the most important thing you can do is be the constant, and everything else in the outside world is the variable. The past couple of years have been very difficult for our family. My mom overcame cancer for the first uh, not for the first time, but she's a three-time cancer survivor. And one of the things that I noticed going through that journey with my mom is that I learned a lot about myself. So when COVID first hit, I really reevaluated everything in my life. I reevaluated my business. So I'm actually a leader in Alouette Cosmetics. I coach a team around over 60 women in their businesses. And I noticed that, especially as a wife, a mother, I wasn't a caregiver at the time when I first started my study, but I did notice that looking back on my life, I wasn't as happy as I could have been. My relationship with people was not where I wanted it to be either, right? Being a sister, a mother, a wife, a friend, um, I just found that I was looking and I was reevaluating my results in my life. And I noticed that I wasn't where I wanted to be. And one thing you need to know is that, when we are created for, wanting more. And it's okay because, we're created for more freedom and expansion of things. And that can be to think better in your life. It can be maybe you want to earn more money, or maybe you just want a better relationship with your husband, your significant other, your children, your mom. These are all things that we can all have. And one thing that people are living with right now is they're living with their past. They're allowing the outside world to control them. And one thing that I've learned is that you can literally create your own inner economy. And it's not even just about money, it's about the way you think about things. I study every day Napoleon Hill's book, and it's Think and Grow Rich. And people think, like, when they read, self-development books, that they really expect an instant change. Reading these books can help you, but reading and learning and expanding your awareness can only come through repetition. The repetition of the knowledge, and even just like anything in your life, creating a new habit for yourself. So for me, I had to create a new habit with my business, right, to go to the next level. But I also had to create a better habit, just with anything, with my family, with being home, with adjusting, being a caregiver with my mom. And then after everything else said, like, and done, then what about me, right? How is your cup at the end of the day? Are you feeling like you're pouring from an empty cup? Or do you feel like you need to love yourself more, or you feel like, you just want to be more and do more? So one of the things I love about this book, and that actually I take a highlighter and I basically go in and I study this book. And I actually, one of my mentors outside of Alouette, I study and I follow Bob Proctor. And as most of you might know, but Bob passed away February 3rd of this year, and I really wanted to meet him. But studying this information since 2020, I felt like I knew him, And one of the things that he learned is that you need to learn and expand your awareness through repetition. So one of the success principles in this book is definitely the power of persistence in chapter 1. So it states in this book that truly thoughts become things, and are powerful things at that, when they are mixed with a definite of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. So, thinking and growing rich in your life is not just about money. What do you want? You got to think about what you want. Do you want to feel more rich in abundance, happiness? Money is really made for two things. Number one, money is made to make you comfortable, and money is made to provide choices, right? Money does not make people happy, and money cannot buy health or anything like that. You really need to think from the inside out and not let the outside control the inside. So one of the things that I love is that it talks about opportunity in your life. Maybe there's a new job that you've always wanted to do, but you're scared, and that's normal, because anything outside, the program that we event, like when we were around 0 to 8 years old, we are genetically programmed to think through our genes, right? And then we have everything from the outside world that gets dumped into our subconscious mind. So basically, the things that maybe our parents grew up with and they heard, and we just absorbed all that. And then we formed something called a self-image. So it's an image that we see about ourselves. And that self-image is like a thermostat, and it controls everything in your life. It controls your income. It controls you as a person, your relationships, the things that you attract to you. It's the belief about yourself, and you only hold yourself at that level. So when an opportunity comes to you, oftentimes people don't see it, or they just reject it because it's outside of their self-image. They're uncomfortable, and when they do go there, they notice a resistance. And a lot of people, they don't break through that. So they stay where they are, and they never grow. And one thing I've learned about growth is either you're growing or you're dying. You're never just the same. So think about which one you are. So earlier this year, my husband and I, we've been looking for a house, and we had a set goal of what we wanted. But one of the things that I think are so powerful about this book that I study is that it really talks about lessons that you can apply in your life. Okay. So one thing I learned was there is a section on opportunity, and it said in the book, because it talks about a gentleman that worked with Thomas Edison. Okay. But he didn't always work with Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was obviously an inventor that had education only for maybe a couple months. And his mother eventually pulled him out of school, and she noticed that he was different. And, even though he had a lack of education, he had a burning desire and a definite purpose to invent something. So this man, Barnes, he was using the power of persistence in this chapter by telling himself and acting as if he already worked with Thomas Edison, the great inventor. And he found a way, even though he had no money or anything like that, to get to his end result, which was his goal to work with him. He ended up using the power of persistence and eventually seen himself working with him before it even happened. So there's an awesome story on that. But it says here, it says, when the opportunity came, it appeared in a different form. And from that direction, Barnes had a different direction that Barnes had expected. That is one of the trips of opportunity. It has a shy habit of slipping through the back door, and often comes disguised in a form of misfortune, temporary defeat, and perhaps that is why so many fail to recognize opportunity. So this pertains to your life, like, there's something that you're looking for, but then it doesn't look the same, or it's not clothed in that same kind of atmosphere as it would be if you were just to, go for something like that. And I think about my husband and I when we bought our dream home, which, it needs a lot of love. But if we hadn't looked for the opportunity, we would have missed it, right? So sometimes opportunity in your life can be, maybe meeting that special someone that you've been thinking about, that you've been wanting to attract, or a job opportunity, or just anything. You just have to always keep your mind open to things. So I thought that was a really good lesson that I learned this week, is about opportunity and using the power of persistence in your life. And one more example is my mom, when she got diagnosed for the 3rd time with cancer, she felt something was wrong in her body. And she saved her own life using the power of persistence without even knowing it. And she went to the hospital, and the nurse that day actually turned my mom away. She told her to go home. that she should get an extra pillow and she should prop herself up, and that would be better for her coughing episodes. So my mom used the power of persistence in the way that no one else would think, and she told the nurse, no, I'm not leaving and I'm getting a test done. And that day my mom found a 7 centimeter tumor and was diagnosed with cancer later on. So, if she had ignored it, if she had not used the power of persistence and seen that opportunity to save her own self, my mom wouldn't have been here today. So we talk about that. We talk about certain lessons every day. And it's always important to start your day with mindset. If you're in a deep, dark part in your life, I know I've been there. Listen to something good. And whether it's you listen to one of my lessons or you follow Tony Robbins or whoever, feed your mind with the clean, the power, the pure, and the positive, and you're going to see a huge difference in your life. I hope that touched you today. Like it if you subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm going to try to help as many people as I can have a better way of thinking, just the way I learned.